Hello again, everyone. This is Shodredux with another Battlefield Play4Free video commentary. If you like it, please rate and subscribe and comment if you like, and send me some ideas. Today's map is actually going to be Karkan, and I will be only using the knife. Thanks to TheSkridpomfrit's suggestion. I believe that's how you pronounce that. Well, just getting into start of the map. Of course, I'm going through and running through, but this time I'm not playing as my recon class that I normally play. I'm actually going through and playing assault. Now, I'm not going to go through and discuss my current loadout with the assault class because I'm just using the knife this round. So I'll just be talking about my tactics and what I pretty much used, as far as getting my knife kills. I mean, if you're just gonna roll around and be very daring and decide to use the knife, you definitely don't want to go through, the middle of the map. That's definitely not the way you're gonna get knife kills. If you're gonna be technically a knifer and strictly using only the knife, you want to be more like a ninja. So you have to go through, especially in Karkan, and sneak around through the back alleys. The way I handled this situation is I went directly from my spawn point from all the way on the left side of Karkan from the RU base, and just pretty much stayed along the sides of the city there, and rushed all the way up to A to go through and be proactive and just go through and capture flags as well. One of the things you'll notice is me going through and looking back and forth. It's actually a tactic that I like to use. It actually helps, especially if you need to keep tabs on enemies coming from behind you, or if you need to look around a corner. It really works well in that regard too, and you'll see me using it a bit back and forth. Like I said, I was pretty daring going through and doing this, especially going up and knifing this guy that was repairing the APC here. Just to let you know, I was actually close enough to that APC to where, technically I could have just shot at the tires with the assault rifle, but being that this is only a knife video, couldn't do that. So, going through and just pretty much using the knife and spotting out my, enemies, so that way my friendlies can go through and take them out as well. So, I'm not actually being a total camper or anything like that, especially using nothing but the knife. So my deaths are actually legitimate. A couple times there, I keep running back to A so I can get the flag capture again, but it wasn't working out so well because there was this guy on top of the roof at A across the street that kept throwing a motion mine, but I always kept thinking it was a grenade. So, but right now, if you pay close attention, I'm actually using the trick and seeing how this person's running up and kind of just waited and struck at the right times. But I also, in turn of doing that, just got taken out quite easily. So you gotta be careful doing that. But it's a really good trick if you have the patience to do it and to not necessarily the patience, but to go through and to do that and use it craftily, I guess you could say, or very proficiently. It'll be very good for you to use that. Well, going through and discussing some of the pros with the knife, well, I guess if you're out of ammo with your pistol and your assault rifle, or your main weapon for that matter, you can always turn to your trusty knife. Or if you just feel like going through and tracer darting people for 1 damage, I mean, you could also do that. But, I mean, the knife is always the backup, especially for close quarters predicaments and you don't feel like wasting your ammo, so to speak. I mean, the cons with the knife, it is very, very difficult and very glitchy sometimes, especially when you get up close to enemies or when you're following enemies from behind. You may notice during some of the parts where I'm chasing some of the enemies and it's kind of difficult to knife them and I have to do it like 2 or 3 times. There may be some captures of that in this video, but I know a couple of times of me going through and doing it, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous because you have to be like right up on the guy in order to get a knife kill while you're running behind him. One of the other good things about the knife is that it's actually a weapon that all classes can carry. So it's not a very, picky class type of weapon, you just equip it. Make sure you remember to equip it when you go through and customize your character for your weapon loadout. One of the things that I was going through in this particular part right here, it was very scary because I don't have my point into climbing up the ladder faster, and there was definitely a guy behind me shooting at me. You'll notice my health dropped just a little bit there, but I knew there was a couple guys inside of here that I wanted to go through and knife. But I was kind of waiting patiently for this guy to come back, but somehow he placed a claymore and it killed me before it even exploded. It was pretty crazy. One of the interesting parts about going through and making this knifing commentary was a lot of the people that were in this round particularly, I noticed a lot of them were sniping, which made it relatively easy to go up and knife some of them because a lot of them were scoped in during the time of me going up to them and, you know, stabbing them in the face. It was quite hilarious, and there's this one particular guy that that you'll see in here that actually has the SVD sniper that's just zoomed down scope, and he kind of freaks out, and I believe he takes a couple of pop shots at me, but that'll come later, I believe. A lot of the other part that helped me out going through and doing the knifing on this was that when I went through and decided to go around like I'm doing right now, I'm going around on the opposite side. There was quite a few med packs that were just lying around from the enemy team, which when I got shot at would actually, you know, keep my health up to 100%, and I would be able to make it, you know, squeamishly by, fortunately, and be able to come back out and get some health again. But another cool thing is if you really needed to sneak by, this is one part that I thought was interesting, you can actually go behind this fence here and actually get totally behind the enemy without them suspecting it. So you can actually go through and do some serious damage with a knife, not just the knife, but any weapon actually. You can just go up and you can kill people. If you take notice into some of the areas that I've been going through, a lot of it has been, you know, like trained in my head as habit, to be quite honest. Like I'll know when somebody is there, or, you know, I'm familiar where the spawn points are at without going through and actually getting spawn kills. I mean, I don't want to be you know, a fruit for going through and doing that, you know, because that does tend to piss people off a little bit when you just go through and kill them right as soon as they spawn. So I try not to do that. That's why I go through and pretty much maintain a constant pace and run around. I just don't want to be like hiding behind a corner and saying, I knifed you, derp derp. So that's why I kind of just made this a more action-packed, intense, because it adds, you know, more realism to it, and you know, more authenticity. I think it's just, you know, I think it's good play. The part that I was really surprised about is in lieu of me going through and doing this, my team was actually maintaining quite a good advantage, and I can honestly say that that cannot be because of me, because I'm just going through and knifing people. That's kind of just like a, you know, like a haha type of thing to go through and do. I mean, I wouldn't suggest going through. If you consider helping your team on any type of, you know, game mode or map, you definitely just don't want to go through and do knifing unless you're just messing around. Or else you will get some people eventually after a while getting upset with you, saying, you know, wow, way to not use your gun, bro, you could have saved me. Or, hey, what's a WTF, mate? Why'd you stab me? I was so far away from that. But, you know, it's just, you'll get people that'll call you like a bunch of different names and hacker and stuff like that, from what I've noticed going through and trying to make this video. It's pretty ridiculous, like the ignorance of the people that aren't keeping in mind that this is still a beta. One of the things that made it extremely difficult to try and make this was the fact that there was a lot of people using the USAS 12, which is a ridiculous shotgun to go up against, especially if you're trying to knife somebody. And just for the record, sometimes when you get in a knife battle with somebody, it can be very tedious because you'll go back and forth, you know, knifing each other. But sometimes it gets a little aggravating too, because when you get knifed, Sometimes to you it looks like they're knifing you from like a million miles away. And by a million miles I mean like 3 feet away, whereas it takes you like a couple inches in order to knife them, which is pretty aggravating. Final thoughts on the knife: don't use it unless you're sneaking up behind somebody and want to keep your position on the down low. That's all I got for today's video. Just keep your thoughts and ideas coming, guys, and thank you for watching.